Okay, hello guys. I think we have enough people, so we can start. Okay, welcome to the SUTD Mountaineering info session. It'll be about 1 hour. We hope that we can keep it short so that you guys have more time to ask questions if you all have any. Yeah. So first, right, we'll be introducing ourselves. We'll be introducing the club. We'll be sharing about our past trips, our past events, and also our current plans for this year and for you, term two guys. Yeah, term two things. So first off, introduction. The president is Ming Liang. The vice president is Leon. I am the publicity guy. My name is Ryan. Christopher is the quartermaster. Lindsay is the treasurer, and Foren is the secretary. So, before I forget, the club is established in 2014. Just another background thing about the club. The club is established in 2014. We have been scaling mountains ever since until about a year ago. Then COVID happened. But it's okay, because until we are able to travel again, right, we'll still be having fun stuff regardless of whether we can go overseas or not. So stick around for some fun. Yes. So now we are gonna share about what our club does pre-COVID and currently. And then I'm gonna hand my time over to Ming Liang to share more about this. Thank you guys.
Okay, hi.
Okay.
I'm Yang. Going?
Yeah, Leon, you can go.
Yep. Okay, can I do this? Okay. So, hi guys. I'm Leon, the vice president for Mountaineering Club. So, together with me and Fawn, our secretary, right, we are the ones that are planning the training programs or for this year and the next year as well. Okay, so before we run through what mountaineering does, right, you have to kind of think of mountaineering as a kind of like sport, if you think about it that way. Okay, it requires a certain level of fitness. At the same time, there's a little bit of a technical skills and strategy that you guys have to acquire in order to sort of say perfect the sport of mountaineering. Okay, so with that in mind, and also the fact that mountaineering requires time, right? So you can't scale a mountain in a day. So what that means is that it requires some commitment level as well when it comes to mountaineering. So with this knowledge in mind, right, we'll probably run you through the general schedule of what we are going to do for the year ahead. Okay, so next slide. Okay, so this is the general schedule or plan for how we actually organize our training. If you look at it this way, you can see our overseas, local and overseas expeditions as well as camps are usually held during the recess weeks and also the term breaks. Why so? Because these require, say, a longer period of commitment. It requires some time to do it. So the local expeditions will usually be like a day trip or a half day trip. And then the overseas expeditions may span for weeks, which is why they're held during the recess week. At the same time as well, because mountaineering requires you to have a certain level of fitness, right? So our sort of like a program is structured such that term time is used to equip you to build up your physical fitness as well, and also to equip you with some technical skills for climbing the mountains and so forth. So if we move on to the next slide. What we do, first things, obviously, physical training. So next. So what we do during physical trainings, our training days are on Tuesdays from 8 to 9:30 p.m. So what we do usually we kind of build you up progressively. So we won't kind of overload you from the very beginning. Okay, so we don't expect you to carry like 20 kg of load on your first training. So as we say, the training would focus more on building up your cardiovascular endurance and probably incorporate some strength training into it. So At the same time, what we do is, so for those, we would do, say, out of school hikes. So for example, what we did last year when COVID hit was that we planned hikes to places like Fengshan Market and so forth. So we walked with some loads as well, and then we stopped by for, say, a team supper or team dinner. And then at the same time, we also do things like calisthenics training and so forth. So these also builds up on your speed and your endurance. Yep. So of course, with regards to training, right, because training is progressive, training requires build up for the main hikes. So at the same time, that means that members with consistent participation and attendance, right, would usually be given higher priorities for, say, training overseas trips. And for this overseas trips will be elaborated by Ming Liang later on. Okay, so next. So secondly, what we do also is some technical workshops. So next. Yeah, so we focus on developing your technical mountaineering knowledge and skills, which are commonly used in expeditions. So say these workshops will kind of equip you with the necessary skills needed for high-key expeditions and also basically outdoor survival in general. So we offer a wide range of workshops, right, ranging from, say, wilderness first aid and even navigations, and some fun ones like the paracord bracelet making workshops. So similar to PT, right, the physical training, these skills workshops are actually organized such that we will teach you the basics before moving on to more technical and more complex workshops. So as you can see, we have things like layering techniques as well, which actually kind of provide you some tips on how to keep yourself warm when you're out in the cold or in higher altitudes when it's colder. Right. Okay. So next slide. Okay. So as we said, this is actually okay. We also have a sport climbing, which is a kind of session that we organize for you guys. So it's actually a climbing certification workshop, which we hold with our external partners at Passion Wave, which is located at Pasir Ris. So we have two different certifications. The level 1 certification kind of qualifies you to be a belayer, and the layer 2 would actually qualify you to kind of like set up the climbing routes. So all these are actually important certifications, which are important for mountaineers in general, because it provides you with the necessary skills for overseas climbs. And usually these sports climbing workshops will be held during the recess week or the term break when there's time for you to kind of engage in them. Yep. Okay, next. At the same time for this year, because through our partnerships with Passion Wave, we have also kind of opened up opportunities for mountaineers. The new mountaineers will also pursue a abseiling certification course as well. Okay, next slide. Yeah, so this will also happen during the recess week and the term break. Okay, next. At the same time, we also host a local hikes and trails. Okay, next. Yep, so these are actually what we do sometimes during the recess week or term break. So as course COVID had, right? So we are now actually focused more on sort of like rediscovering Singapore, rediscovering new hikes around and new routes in Singapore to walk. Okay, so that is about it for the local. I'll pass my time to my president, Ming Liang, to elaborate on the overseas expedition.
Okay, so thank you very much, Leon, for sharing on what we do, all the training plans we have. So our next segment will be on the overseas trips. So for this segment, we have invited our seniors from the previous batches to share on their trips and their experiences. So currently during COVID, travel may not be possible, but we hope to be able to build our club and prepare everyone physically and skill-wise to be ready so that we are able to start the trip, so that we are able to go for the trips once the borders are open. For us as a club, we also aim to build a strong foundation that will be very important for us to help us maintain our strong relationship with the school and attract potential sponsorships. So feel free to leave any questions you have in the chat, and we will answer all of them together during the Q&A at the end of the session. Alright, so without further ado, allow me to welcome Asrina to share on their Malaysia trips.
Hi, okay, thanks guys. Can you hear me, right? Can you hear me talk? No?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, let me try to share my screen. How do I do that? Oh, okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, can.
Okay, so hi, my name is Azrina. I am currently year 3, so I just started term 6. Yeah, so we were from the previous batch of excos, and we were the last people to go for like our freshie, um, like the because mountaineering has this signature climbs for freshies lah, which are just Malaysia day trips. So that was back in 2019. So during that schedule, we had 2 terms when before they made shift the terms to September. So in term like the second trimester and the third trimester, we had 2 Malaysia trips each in each recess week. Yeah. Yeah. So basically this we call them Malaysia day trips. So what we actually do is meet up at Marsiling MRT around 11 p.m. and then we are driven there by an external vendor, reaching the place like the locations around 4 a.m. 5 a.m. So it's a sunrise hike lah essentially. Yeah, so then we will be up by at the summit by 8 a.m. We'll get down by 10 11 a.m. Then we'll just wash up, go for R&R, and then travel back to Singapore. Yeah. So um, yeah, so the first place we went in, I think it was June 2019, our first recess week, was Broga Hills, which is Selangor, which is near KL, essentially. So yeah, these were pictures we took uh, from that hike trip. So the elevation for this was 400 meters, which is not as high if you want to compare to like Kota Kinabalu, which is like 1.2, 1.4. Yeah, so it's actually very beginner. So for mountaineering, all these Malaysia trips, right, is somewhat similar to other fifth rows where we just open up to the whole school to come. So that's where we start making friends through this hike. Yeah. Okay, wait, this is a drone footage that I found. Try to play it. I'll just off the sound because it's kind of loud. But one of our seniors brought a drone. I think it's 10 phone, right? Yeah. So this was a footage that we took during that time. So it wasn't as I would say the sunrise trip wasn't that it didn't start that early, so it wasn't dark. So by the time we climbed like halfway up, so 200 meters or so, it was already starting to get bright. So it was a popular tourist location, so you can see there are a lot of other people other than us. Yeah, so yeah, they had a few peaks and summits. I think it was like summit 1, 2, 3 or something like that. Yeah, so the elevation it wasn't that steep to go up 400, but it was very like it was very worth lah because a lot of us we didn't have this sort of like high elevation hikes or climbs. So it was like a very nice like introduction to what mountaineering is. Yeah, as much as you can go climb like Bukit Timah or something, this is like quite another level. So yeah, I think this was the highest peak. Yeah, 400 meters. You can just ignore the Singapore flag. Yeah, but yeah, this was us back in 2019. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So through this yeah, we got together because we are all freshies. Then we like to like jail our classmates to come. So we came with a lot of our classmates. We made new friends. Yeah, and the bottom photo is with all the mountaineering sign that we made up. Yeah, those were all freshies that actually came for the trip. So there was quite a number of them. And then after that, we went for R&R, just lunch and chill at I think it was Times Square in KL. Yeah, and then by the time 10 p.m. the next day, we are back in Singapore already. Yeah, so yeah, these are some pictures that we took at Broga Hills. Yeah, quite nice. I don't know why this one is here, but yeah, it's quite fun lah. To go. Yeah. Okay. So the next trip that we went to was Mount Datuk Gunung Datuk, which was a bit nearer to travel to. So we reached there quite dark, around 4 a.m. if I'm not wrong. And this one was different. It was near Negeri Sembilan, which is near Malacca. So our R&R was at Malacca. Yeah, so this was 800 meters. So this was actually double. So for this, we actually had to do prior training. So for our trainings, we had to join mountaineering for our like weekly PTs, and then we went for hostel climb. I think we climbed, hostel block has 12 stories, right? Yeah, we went up and down like 10 times with weights. Yeah, so that was tiring. Yeah, but it was to like sort of train us to, cope with the actual climb, which was actually pretty steep. We went up in around 2 hours, which is about the same with Boga Hills, but it was very dark and it was very steep. Yeah, and we had to use our headlamps. There was really nothing much you could see. So by the time we went up, it was around like 6-ish, 7, and the sky was starting to brighten. So we stood on this summit. So this is just a pile of rocks. So the summit is actually just a pile of rocks, but it was quite wide, so a lot of people could sit there. Yeah, to see a pile of rocks. Yeah, so we just hang around for 1 hour, watch the sunrise, and then after that, we also have to go down again, which was as hard as going up. Yeah, so these are the people that went from our school. Oh, and I think I have another footage, a very short drone footage from Danfong again. Yeah, so honestly, being on this summit, right, it was very small. Like, yeah, it was but you could see it over quite, like almost the whole area, so it was quite nice. I'm not sure it will turn. Yeah, but it was quite scary also because it's just like you could just sleep anytime to go down. Yeah, but it was nice. Okay. Yeah, so of course we went with friends. So we met more people that we haven't met from the previous trip. So not everyone went for first trip, went for second, and not everyone went second, went for the first. So same thing, mountaineering is very open for people who were not regulars in mountaineering to go for our trips. But we will make sure that they actually go for the like training sessions that lead up to this. So these pictures were me and my freshman classmates who went to climb Mount Datuk. Yeah, and some seniors there and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, for this one, right? The view was it was less green in a sense that the summit was really just a pile of rocks as compared to Bora Hills where there were like a few summits over time. But it was really pretty view lah for like this. You can't really beat. I mean, apart from the other hikes that or climbs that the seniors will be sharing later, this was quite like it's quite cool to be able to go to these places only in year one. Yeah. So wanted to bring like the juniors down, but COVID. So never mind, next time. Yeah. So yeah, this was our R&R in Malacca. So so officially it was 24 hours, but of course out of unofficially you can choose to stay, which we did. So it was quite nice to kind of hang around and like bond with the seniors. Yeah, and that was us eating lok lok. And yeah, overall it was quite like other than it being eye-opening, it's really like once in a lifetime experience. Yeah. For pre-COVID lah. Yeah, because we were expecting to go Kazakhstan all that, but we didn't. So yeah, this was the best we could have gotten, and honestly, it was sufficient for us lah. As freshies in mountaineering during our time. Yeah. So so that's just the starting for mountaineering. If we could have trips, and hopefully in the time to come, you guys will get to experience at least Malaysia, which is quite hard lah. But yeah, So I guess now I can pass my time to like the seniors to talk about the more exciting trips. Yeah, Miriam.
Thanks, Azrina. Okay, so next we'll be having Ting Fon to share on the Sichuan ice climbing trip.
Yep. Okay. Thanks, Ming Yang. Let me share my screen. Okay, can see, right?
Yeah, can.
Okay, nice. Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Ting Fong. I'm not a senior. I graduated, so yeah. And okay, so this is technically the last ice climb we did lah before COVID and the rest of the things that came in. So actually, right here you can see that there are a few of us. I'm actually not inside the picture, which I will explain later. And this is actually this guy over here. He's actually Edwin, sort of like our mentor. So he's actually from Incredible Journeys, and he's quite an experienced mentor with like 20 years of climbing and heading up to Mount Everest. Yeah, this is me left, ISTD, class of 2021. And also, I do not know if she's here, Akira, but I don't know, you can say something. Are you here? Okay, I guess she's not. But anyway, we'll be presenting on the Sichuan ice climbing. Yeah, so this is just a short trip video we prepared for you all. Yes. I'll just disable the sound. Yeah. So this is actually one of the village that we stopped by while heading up to the mountains. So what we did was we took a plane to Chengdu, and then from Chengdu we head over to the icy portion of the mountain. Yeah, so you can see this is sort of like our base camp. Yeah, initially I had the impression when I went there, I thought we'll be bunking down there, like with just our equipment and stuff. But then thank God that we had all these like amenities, like a small village. It has Wi-Fi, internet. Yeah, so it's not like some rural country. So what we normally do is we actually go from location to location from the base camp. So like the car would drive us like maybe 15 or 30 minutes away from the portion. And then all this what you're looking at right now, right, they're actually waterfalls during the non-snowy season. Yeah, so you can see that we are actually doing ice climbing, vertical ice climbing, literally like 90 degree off the perpendicular to the ground. Yep. And like over there we had lessons like how to do the belaying and setting up all the ice pick and stuff like that. Yeah, so we use like crampons and things like that to secure ourselves firmly to the ice and then head up. And maybe one concern like when I first had before coming to this trip was I was quite scared lah, like is it worse than normal rock climbing? And when I'm talking about rock climbing, I literally mean the rock climbing. But turns out right, actually ice climbing is like 10 times safer because like the surface are really solid lah, like really, really hard. And then like I don't know why I did that. That's so cringe. But anyway, yeah, so uh there'll be like porters over there. The porters over there are actually very experienced people also. So they sort of like help you set up and they teach you all the methods and techniques of how to do ice climbing. Yeah. So it's actually quite high. The base camp, if I'm not wrong, is close to 5,000 feet. Yeah. So this is like the valley. It's extremely cold there. Yeah. It's about negative 20 degrees. Okay. Okay, so what is ice climbing? Okay, right. So like what I said previously, just now over here, it was actually a waterfall during like the non-icy times, so spring, summer, and things like that. And then when it's frozen, and after a few like months of frozen water, yeah, it become really solid ice. And then like actually like one of the things that we did was actually we drew like those what do you call that, the like a metal straw. I can't remember the technical term for it, but basically you can drill it all the way through and then like the water will come out. Then you boil the water and you can drink it. Yeah, so basically that's what ice climbing is about. Yeah, and yeah, I mean one thing previously said by the juniors is you can do rock climbing in Singapore and then when you bring it over to China, it's totally different. But at the same time, I mean you still need your upper body strength and things like that. Yeah. So basically what we did there. Actually before that, let's talk about the stuff first. So what we did was we actually needed winter clothing, climbing equipment, crampons and gaiters, and ice axe. So there are a few things that are provided by Edwin. So you pay a lump sum of money, and then they have all this catered for you. So things are like crampons, the gaiters, and the ice axe provided for you. helmets and pants, all this will be the club itself. Yeah, but winter clothing such as like jackets, things like that, you have to purchase it yourself. And this is what we did for our itinerary. So actually, during this period of time, right, of course, as you know, we must go during the winter, right? So during the winter, there's a specific time frame that we can go, and I can't really remember. I think it was in like, I mean, definitely in one of our term break. I think it was in like somewhere in December, kind of like that, and then we did it close to Christmas. So whatever when you are doing there, it's not a fixed timeline where actually you and your group of friends would come together and like, and then from that day onwards, you just work with him on how you want to do your dates. But then this program itself, they'll be doing a few things. So it's like a accumulation of lessons. So like what we do is you do layering, you arrive. So preparation is basically where we teach you. He will teach you, and we will teach you how to do your proper clothing, because you can't just wear like different layer. I mean, there are different layers of clothing to go over there to practice your climb. Yeah, and then what you do is you arrive at the place, and then you take the jeep down to Sikunyang, and then you do acclimatization, teaching you all the techniques and things like that. So it's incremental. So like the slopes will go from like first you walk on flat land, then after that you go 45-degree, then you go 90-degree and things like that. Yeah, so all this technical stuff. Yeah, and then once we are able to do the final climb, the debrief, and then you come down. Yeah, so this place is actually located, I can see it's actually quite far from the city itself. So Chengdu is here. Then you take a car. It's around like half a day. Yeah, half a day of driving to reach there. And then what the places is called, I can't really remember the exact name, but from there you can see Sikunyang San. So it's like one of the most visited mountain in China. Yeah. And then, I mean, because we are students, we love the idea of R&R. Everyone loves R&R, right? So that's why I just now brought in the fact that we propose a date to Edwin, cater it around. So we was in one year, we actually planned for like about 4 days of R&R. So we went to Chengdu. We did some R&R, like visiting the pandas and things like that. And then this is where we properly did our climb. And then this is the remaining, like, last day kind of trip, shopping / sightseeing. Yeah. So how much does it cost? It might sound very expensive, like, flying all the way there, icy stuff. So look at that, it's $2,000. But is it really that expensive? Actually, there's something called PSCA. If you all don't know, it's like your EduSave. Yeah, so cost fee, flight ticket, all these are covered by PSCA, so about 1.5. And then, but then the R&R not covered. Equipments can be borrowed, like actually some of the ice jacket, like I was talking about, you not necessarily need to purchase it. You can actually rent it from like the club, or we actually were in partnership with NUS, so we can actually, ask NUS for clothes and things like that. Yeah, so it's approximately about, the total cost is about 2,000. Yeah, but after minusing off the PSCA is about $500 to $600. Yeah, so this is some photos that we done. So this is R&R photo. This is the place where we actually had our base camp. Yeah, and this is some of the photos. We watched some face changing things. Took a picture at a ice climbing place. Yeah, food and more pictures. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ting Fong. Okay, so lastly
So
we'll
then,
have. Okay, so lastly we'll be having Daryl and Austin to share about their Kazakh trip.
All right, so let me share my screen. So just to introduce myself, hi everyone, my name is Austin, and I'm from the class of 2021. So I think together with me, Daryl, is Daryl, who's also from the same batch, and we'll be presenting about our Kazakh trip. So yeah, so our Kazakh trip was in 2019. You guys can see my screen, right? Can, right?
Yeah, can.
Okay, can, okay. So just to give everyone a rough introduction of what the Kazakh trip is about. So what we did was to go to Kazakh, and we aim to summit these two peaks, the Ong Ting Cheong peak and the Ong Siu Mei peak. So basically, there's a history for these two mountains, where I think it was initially a unnamed peak, and someone went to ascend it and name it under these two names, under these two people. So yeah, so I think like so the history of this trip is that the Sun wants to promote these two mountains, and they collaborated with SUTD and NUS to organize trips to climb these mountains. So this Kazakh trip is actually a leadership expedition where it's very self-directed, where there's a lot of planning involved for this trip, where we have to organize, we have to do our own trainings and also settle most of the stuff lah. And through this trip, we also had learned like the essential mountaineering skills such as snow camping, outdoor living, ice climbing technical skills, and all the theory sessions. Yep. So this trip, our Kazakh trip was happened during the summer vacation period, which was from 15 to 29 July lah. So it was back then. It was during our internship period. So I think some of us took leave during our internship to go for this trip. Yeah, and it consists of like 4 INR days and also eight days in the actual snow and 6 days in like the base camps, which I will go into more details. All right, so for our trip, our team consists of like 8 members. So yeah, and what's so special about this trip was because this was the first time that SUTD and NUS partnered to do an expedition together. So yeah, so what we did was to conduct like combined training with NUS, where we get to talk to the NUS mountaineers people. So I think NUS mountaineering has a very rich history. I think like if I'm not wrong, they have a team that went to Everest before. So yeah, they are quite accomplished and they have like 20 years history, and that's something SUTD want to look forward to build towards. So maybe in 20 years time we can climb Mount Everest. Yeah. So yeah, these are some pictures we train. Like these are some pictures during our training. So like to go for this trip, I think training is very important because we don't want to not be able to submit the peak because we're not physically fit lah. But don't have to worry for like those who are unfit, because I think the training is progressive and it should equip you if you were to go for the regular trainings. So we did stair climbing, we did like calisthenics. Yeah, we tried to make the trainings more interesting, where we go different places in Singapore, where we go Bukit Timah, MacRitchie. Yeah. All right. So now, talking about the trip itself. So yeah, some stats about Kazakh is it's a 9th largest country, and then we flew from Singapore to Hong Kong, transited at Hong Kong, and the total time was around 11 hours. Yep. So in Kazakh, we had to first go to the base camp in order to acclimatize. So just to give you guys a short intro of mountaineering. Like if you want to climb a high peak, you cannot just go straight up to like a high altitude. You have to acclimatize your body. So in order to go to the high peak, we had to first go to a peak that is not so high to acclimatize our body first, and after acclimatizing, then we can go up to the higher peak. So our acclimatization phase was this Kakara base camp, where we had to go up high and acclimatize our body and go down and rest at the lower peak. Yep. So we spent some time to acclimatize, and yeah, it's quite interesting. It's quite a very beautiful hike, very cooling and very very nice. Yeah. So these are some pictures in Kakara base camp, and now after we acclimatized our bodies to the high altitude, then we took a helicopter. Yeah. So in order to get to the glacier, we need to take a helicopter there. It's a very exclusive glacier. So like it's impossible to walk there on foot lah, because the snows is too thick, and you have to be a very pro at it. So the glacier is around 3.8K altitude, and what we did there was we built our tents and we stayed there lah. We also did some technical trainings there, and we cook our food. So yeah, so after settling down, then we start doing the
the real climb, which is what we did was to climb the what we did, the mountain which we went was the Ong mountain. So yeah, so in the morning, we all got ready. It's a whole day thing, so we had to get ready very early in the morning, and we had to rope up. We have to rope up to each other for safety. Yeah. So the tough part was to get across the ice to the mountains, and you can see the pictures here where we were all walking in a single file because to ensure that we don't fall into any crevices or any holes. And even if you do, you'll be safe because you'll be roped up to your buddy, and we are all trained to take care of each other lah. Yeah. So these are some photos while climbing. It's quite beautiful. It's a nice view. Yeah. So we managed to ascend the peak. So yeah, this is me in the photo. I was trying to help advertise our sponsor, which was Coca. Yeah, who sponsor us the noodles. Yeah. So these are some photos we took in the glacier. Yeah, in the mountain we also brought a watermelon. It's just some fun stuff. Yeah, and we opened it after our hike. Yeah, and also more photos like sunset photos, night photos, and also yeah, it's very beautiful photos. Like I think at night, the stars were really beautiful, and something that it's like yeah, it's very nice to see. Yeah. So these are all photos, and there's the video. I think maybe I won't show it, but you can see the video in the Mountaineering website. So go to, I think maybe the seniors can help. I mean my juniors can help to share this video link or our Mountaineering channel to them to. You can see all our videos, all our past trips. Yeah. So R&R, like going to Kazakh is a very I think it's a country that not many people can go. So in order to travel there, you have to have a special permit. And because we had connections, then we managed to go to this country. So Kazakh is not a very tourist country, where like when we went there, we were the only like Chinese people there. Like most of the people were Russian and like the locals. So yeah, they don't even speak English, so it's quite interesting. So like in our R&R, I mean we just went around and tried to explore the country. So we took the Grab of Kazakh. We tried to get our data. We spent a lot of time because we couldn't speak Russian. We had to Google Translate everything, and yeah. So then we went to the lake, the famous lake, and went and did some fun activities and sightseeing. Yeah. So I think after the trip, we also did some R&R. So I think my face was quite burnt because I didn't really put enough protection. Yeah, but it was fun. Like, we just went around talking to the locals and buying horse meat. I think horse meat is very popular there. And just try to be a local there for R&R. It's pretty fun. Yeah, and the food there is not bad. Yeah, it's quite good. So we ate like noodles, kebab, horse meat, and shashlik, and yeah, ice cream. All this stuff are very cheap as well in the country. Yeah. Yeah. So I think the most important part is the friendship that was forged through this trip lah. Yeah, I think this is the end of the presentation. Yeah, but maybe I can add on to why join mountaineering. So the answer is like what I feel is why not? Because for me, I feel that mountaineering is a very niche and extreme sport, and if you don't do it now, unlikely you'll get a chance. So do it while you're young and fit. And what we have is the community of like-minded people, and also connections. Like Ting Fong mentioned, Edwin, who was Everest. He was in the first Everest team in Singapore. First Everest, yeah, where he submitted the first Singapore team who went to Everest. So he'll make sure that our expeditions, all these high key expeditions are safe, and also he'll provide us with like subsidized rates and yeah, and his expertise. So it's good lah. Yeah. So yeah, that's about it. Maybe I pass back to Ming Yang.
Okay, thanks Austin, thanks Daryl. So the link to the videos, they are all in our YouTube channel. Yeah, we'll post the link later in the chat. Okay, so once again, you can leave all your questions in the chat. Yeah, we'll answer them later during our combined Q&A. Okay, so next. Okay, so now yeah, I'll be going through our plans for the upcoming year. Okay, next. Okay, so yeah, today we had our intro session, so we give everyone a general overview of our club, what we do and what we stand for. So okay, so initially next week we are planning to host introduction rock climbing at our climbing partner, which is Passion Wave. But unfortunately, as of 7 p.m., which is 1 hour ago, all peoples will be forced to stand down for the week. So we will update you all again on the newer dates for us to host these sessions. But we really do want to host them regardless. So you all can experience the climbing, also experience mountaineering. Okay, so in week 4, we'll be hosting a paracord workshop. So for our workshops, we host them as a series. So it's a mountaineering skills workshop series. These workshops will span across the entire year. So it'll be this term as well as next term. So Leon has already mentioned to you the different types of workshops that we will have. Okay, so for recess week, will be very happening. We'll be hosting 2 main activities. So the first activity will be your SNCS level 1, which is your climbing certification. So we're hoping to get all our members certified with level 1, because this certification can be very useful to you all in the future as well. You can use it outside, beyond just our club. It is also very useful for you to climb in different other climbing gyms. Then apart from that, we'll also be hosting a local hike. So the route has already been, we have already recce, we have already decided. Once it's approved, we'll send it out to everyone again. So if you notice, in between the few weeks, there are a few gaps. So these are when we will put in physical conditioning sessions, which are still very important for you all to be able to join us for the hikes, as the hikes will get progressively more challenging throughout the term. Okay, so after recess week, we'll be hosting a constellation / navigation workshop. This workshop will be done in collaboration with the astronomy interest group. So we hope to do something slightly different, but still has a large aspect of mountaineering in it. So last main activity of the year will be rock climbing session. We hope by then our members will already be certified with level 1. So you can go there and climb, go there and distress before your finals. Okay, so at the end of the term, after all your exams during your December break, we'll be aiming to host the SNCS level 2, which is a more advanced version of the level 1 climbing certification. So level 2, level 1 is a prerequisite for level 2. So you need to attend level 1 first before you can attend level 2. So level 2 includes setting up the climb routes, ropes, etc. And will be very helpful for you all when you all want to apply for the overseas trips in the future. Also, we'll be conducting a hike once again. It will be a different location, and we will make it more challenging. And we'll also be including weights for those who are ready to make it a weighted climb. Okay, next slide. So apart from all this, so I think Leon has also mentioned previously, so we are working with Passion Wave. So one of the activities we do is an outreach climbing program with Passion Wave. Basically, we give back to the community and we support their climbs. So it helps the Passion Wave and also gives us an opportunity to give back to the community. So it's very fun, very relaxing. So a very good way to make use of the skills that you have gained in the club. And also as mentioned, we'll be doing abseiling level 1. We'll aim to do it during the December break as well. And we'll finish up with our workshop series, and we'll aim to do one more hike during the next term. And for the last part, which is the part I believe most of you are very interested in, and yeah, I'll just address it regarding the overseas trips. So currently we are not able to give any confirmed or specific timeline on exactly when we can host the trips. But I believe there has been quite a lot of optimism going about it recently. Yeah, I've been talking to the school. I've also been talking to the various stakeholders involved. So you can trust us to say that we'll do our best to make it happen because we also want to go. Okay, so that is about all I have to share for our upcoming plans. I'll pass the time back to Ryan.
Okay, before we end this session, right? Yeah, there is one more thing. We are supposed to announce that we have our first physical session next week, but now KIV, to be confirmed, we'll let you know as soon as possible. It was supposed to be intro to climbing at Passion Wave, Pasir Ris. It will not be held in school, so but no worries because transport is provided for all. No experience is needed. All are welcome to come because we have trained instructors to facilitate the session, and we'll be also tagging along to help out with all the climbing. So to share more about climbing, right? It's not the same as like the bouldering, like those in the school, because the school one is the wall is very short, and then like no need harness one. This one is the wall is the high wall, like around 15 meters, I think. And then you get to climb up with the harness and you get to experience all the climbing up, dropping down. Yeah, but no worries, very safe one. Okay. Uh, we will, because we have all of the people belaying will be level 1 certified lah, and the train instructor will also be there to guide all of you. We'll be teaching you how belaying works and how we can how it actually like happens lah. And then we also highly encourage you to sign up once we have confirmed the dates, because not every day, right, you will be able to get a chance to climb for free. Yes, that's right. We have fully subsidized this session. So initially it was $27 lah. So if you don't come, right, it's kind of wasted lah. It's a steal, honestly. Cause you see, if you go not go overseas. If you go outside, right, to climb, it's at least $30 lah for this type of experience. The whole package with the renting of equipment, with the facilitators, all this, right, is more than free lah. So it's damn worth it lah. So you all should come. But once the sign up forms are up, right, we do encourage you all to sign up fast lah, because first come first serve lah, and limited capacity due to COVID lah. So please keep your eyes peeled for the sign-ups. Yeah. And then so we have come to the end of the session. We are gonna have our Q&A now. If any of you want to ask any questions, we'll be opening the questions to the floor. You can choose to speak up or type your questions in the chat. Yes. Also, I think Ming Liang is going to address some of the questions that you all have written down in the forms. So I'm going to pass the time to him, and we'll see how it goes from there.
All right, so yeah, we'll be taking any questions you all may have. You can feel free to unmute yourself and speak, or you can just type in the chat.
Hi.
Hello, hello.
Do you all climb often? And like do you guys do like lead climbing and top rope?
Yeah, we do top rope climbing at Passion Wave. So we do climb relatively often. We hope to do so even more often in the future. So
It's
generally we'll
usually
climb
at Passion
about.
Wave.
Sorry. Yeah, it's
You guys
usually at
usually
Passion Wave.
Hmm.
We're also exploring new venues and new partners as well.
Okay, cool.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I'll address a few questions in the chat as well. Okay, so first question, how long are the weekly trainings? Weekly trainings are generally about 1.5 hour long. Yeah, we host our trainings mostly on Tuesday from 8 p.m. So workshops may last a bit longer depending on the content that we have. Okay, next question. Do you need to be fit to join mountaineering? So at mountaineering, we have progressive physical conditioning sessions. So it's open to everyone to join us. So before you join any of our physical sessions, yeah, you'll be required to do a health assessment by the school. But other than that, there are no additional requirements from us. Okay, next question. Hello. So what are some of local hikes you guys are planning? So currently with my exco, yeah, we have recce 2 to 3 new routes. So for the currently main reason why we have not sort of disclosed the locations is because we are waiting for school to approve it. Next question, is the transportation covered for these hikes? Yes. We are in then bus to and fro. So it'll be from the outside ISH. So it'll be very convenient for your freshies since you are staying in the hostel. Okay, thank you everyone for your questions. So yeah, I'll also be addressing some of the questions that were posted to us previously from the forms. Okay, so it's another question on where trainings are conducted. So again, it will depend on which type of training we are doing. So for workshops, we generally host it in a think tank. The main think tank that we usually book is TT23. But again, this is also subject to availability, and we'll always post the location each time we send out the sign up forms. We have another question. It's a more specific question. So we have students who are interested to join us, but currently not in Singapore due to COVID restrictions. So yeah, you are more than welcome to join us. So we'll have to clear you with the school management, which is for short we call OSL. So once you're cleared, you're more than welcome to join us. If you have any additional or more specific questions regarding this, you can PM me. You can reach out to us through our different social media channels.
Oh yeah, I got something to add on about the how and where are the trainings conducted. So just now Minga was talking more about the workshop side, right? So the workshops will be done in campus lah. But for like the physical trainings, it will be done on the ISH side. So the sports place lah. The problem we hold most of them in the field. Not the field, the track. Sorry, the track. Yeah, actually same place lah. So generally we host our PT there. We do like what statics, we do running, we train up endurance. But no worries lah, if you are like not so fit also can one. Cause I mean personally I think I also not so fit lah, but I think it's all about the progression. So you can't join us, right? We will have fun together, and hopefully we get more fit together also. Yes, and then also right, sometimes we have runs, like especially like if we do have 2 km, 3 km, 5 km runs, right? Sometimes we will run out of campus lah. So we will have planned routes around the area. Sometimes we run to Tampines for to have dinner. Sometimes we run to the several like places like of interest, like food stuff, and then we go and eat. So don't say we pocho, but it's very fun lah. Please come. Yes, very wholesome club. Hello. Any more questions? If no questions, right? Yes, we will end the session here, but we'll stay around. So if you are too shy to ask questions or anything, right, you all can just ask after the session lah. Yes. Thank you guys for coming. Hopefully we'll see you soon for the climbing sessions. Yes, that's right. Bye-bye. See you guys. Thank you for coming. Have a nice day.
Bye guys. Stay safe.